David is in Washington, D.C. Hi, David. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, gentlemen. Thank you very much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
I have a question. My wife and I have a 529 plan for our son in the state of Virginia, and he's got 1.5 years left until leaving for college. We think it's pretty much fully funded, so we're only putting small amounts into it now. But we're concerned that maybe our distributions are a little too aggressive now. So we've got like 78% in stocks, 18% in bonds, 4% in cash. And we wanted to just kind of know, should we back off of that a little, either now or next year or as we head into college?
How much is in there?
We have in there right now $165,000.
Okay. Well done. Congratulations. That's fabulous.
Yeah, that is great.
Okay.
Very fortunate.
All right. And when you say stocks, bonds, and cash, you're talking about it's a mutual fund selection. You're not in individual stocks or bonds.
That's correct. We have mutual funds through American Funds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, here's the thing. Bonds have an inverse relationship, as you probably know, David, to the interest rate market. So as interest rates go down, bonds prices go up. Interest rates have been unbelievably low for an unbelievably long period of time. There's not a lot of places they're going to go but up in terms of major moves in interest rates in the next 5 years, okay, while your kid's in school. And so while bonds are typically pitched, if you read the standard financial planning writing, people pitch bonds as a stabilizer in a portfolio. In an extended low interest rate environment, my personal conviction is that they are a destabilizer, because I think as interest rates tick up, those bond prices are going to go down. You're going to lose your butt on that part of the portfolio. And so while it's supposed to be more safe than the stocks, I don't think it is in this current world, personally. So you can do what you want to do, but you called us, so that's an opinion. It's probably worth what you paid for it. Consequently, I don't own any bonds right now. Matter of fact, I've never really used bonds much in my investing at all, unless they're in a balanced fund or something like that. But so then the question just becomes, do you want to be in cash or do you want to be in growth stock type mutual funds for the next 4.5 years? Because the bulk, a piece of that money is not going to come out for 4 years, right?
That's right.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to stay, depending on how worried you are about the stock market, the less worried you are, I'm going to stay heavy in the growth stock mutual funds and a little bit of cash. And the more worried you are, the more I would be about cash. But I don't think it's unsophisticated. As a matter of fact, it's just a different way of thinking. It's a different critical thinking set to avoid bonds, number one, and to number two, to say, the risk represented by the market is not so substantial on stocks that it's going to drive me crazy.
Well, and the mindset, Dave, I think this past year, I keep going backwards here. The past year has shown us, as we looked at what happened to the stock market in March and then how it rebounded and came back in October.
Yeah.
For us to make sure that we remember it's the long range view, right? And I think that I'm going to keep beating that drum of riding the roller coaster, long range view. Look at what's going on. Don't listen to what people are saying. Watch what's happening.
Yeah. I mean, on the short term, the only thing that disturbs me for the stock market's sake more than anything else is just the level of political unrest.
Oh, I agree.
That's the short term. I mean, if you believe that the political unrest is going to lead to the nation unraveling, then you'd get out of the stock market completely. I don't believe that. Right. But the stock market does not like an unpredictable world. It likes a predictable world, even if it's a liberal world or a conservative world,
right? A
Democrat or a Republican. It just let me know what it is, and I can predict it, And when things aren't predictable, so if a war springs up across the world, a geopolitical, it doesn't like that. This crap going on in Washington on both sides of the aisle
Right.
is astronomically crazy. When the cities were burning last summer,
Right.
without getting into reasons or whether agreement or anything like that, the stock market doesn't like it.
Right. Well, it's a living, breathing thing, as you've told people for years. And because it's living and breathing, it's got feelings. And so the stock market has feelings. And so imagine if too much unrest or too much this or that happens, there is going to be a reflection at some point.
Yeah, it's when people are worried, it shows up.
Right.
That's really what it comes down to, because it depends on what they're worried about. So anyway, all that to say, David, I personally, if it was my kid, I would be heavy in stocks. I'd be light to none in bonds, and to the extent you're worried, I would crank up my percentage in cash. To the extent you're worried about the next 2 years of volatility. But if the thing goes down 10%, that'd be one of the biggest drops in 12 months in the history of the stock market if it went down 10%. And that would be $16,000.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't keep your kid from going to school.
No.
So you're not really playing with huge risk. You're not going to have a situation where you lose 50% of your money. That has occurred only 2 times in the entire history of the stock market. And I do not see that item on the horizon. It could be there, but I don't see it.
Well, and let's talk real quick here about, obviously, with student education and going to college. You've got $165,000 that you put away. You know, as you start to look in-state at $10,000 a year, you've covered. Out-of-state tuition is $22,000 a year, and private tuition is around $36,000. So, you know, you look at the dollar amount that you all have set aside, David. You all have done a fantastic job of being prepared. Now, finish the job, I guess is what I'd say. Help your young person make a smart decision, and don't pick a school based on a sports team, and don't pick something based on a mascot. Let's pick something that is fiscally responsible that you can pay cash for.
There you go.